Welcome back, guys. Right now I'm in Junction. I'm working my way out of Colorado here and going into Utah and then down into Arizona to explore some national parks there this week. So that's going to be the focus for this week's video. But while I'm up here, I'm going to go to this brewery. It's called Ramblebine Brewery in Junction here. I know one of the owners, so I'm going to go grab a beer real quick. All right, it was a little loud inside, so I didn't want to record too much while I was in there, but the beers were fantastic. My overall rating would be like a 9.5, 9.6. I mean, it was pretty good. And I know all the beers are homemade and stuff, and I also know, one of the co-founders, one of the co-owners, so like I had a little bit of a bias, I guess, but it was really good. I would highly recommend. So definitely check it out. And I think my favorite was that's a hard one, actually. I think my favorite was probably the Triple Sin. It just had this really strong like depth to the flavor, and I loved it. This is actually my last stop in Colorado, I promise, but I'm at the Colorado National Monument right now, and it's kind of fitting because this week is going to be pretty much all about canyons. I'm going to be finalizing the trip at the Grand Canyon this week, but there's a few other ones on the way, so this is the start of it though, and I just had to come out here because as I was like driving by on the road, I saw this cliff, and there's just something super like exciting about coming to the edge of a cliff. Hello! Yeah, that was pretty cool, actually. I was thinking about not doing it, but I'm glad I did. It actually bounced back pretty cool. I'm in Arches National Park in Utah, and I haven't seen any arches yet, but I'm gonna walk around a little bit as I keep going deeper into the park here. And I think that the arches are kind of at the end of the main like road, so hopefully I'll see some at some point here. I'm sure I will, but for now I'm gonna be going up around this balanced rock here. So those two arches right there make a thing that looks kind of like eyes, if you can see it. I'm gonna go around to the back so you can see it a little bit better, but this is the first arch that I've ever seen in my life. So I thought it was pretty cool. See, those are the eyes now. You can see them a lot clearer. There's something about the desert that I just love, and I can't entirely explain it. Like, I grew up in a desert, so maybe that has something to do with it, but I just love the red and the orange and the landscape of the desert environments. I just love it. It's my favorite. And you can't go to a national park without going on at least a little hike. So I'm hiking through the Devil's Garden right now on the main loop here. And I thought it was funny because I was in the Garden of the Gods in last week's video, and now I'm in the Devil's Garden. So I thought it was kind of funny. Well, I got to the end, so now it's time to go back and go to the next national park. So I got to Bryce Canyon a few hours ago, but it's been raining this whole time. It's been raining all day. And so I was like, I'll just hang out in the car for a little bit. I'll read a little bit, you know, watch the rain through the roof a little bit and hang out. And now that it's stopped raining though, it's time to go explore the park a little bit. I'm gonna get my stuff together, and Bryce Canyon is right behind me. It's a little chillier than I thought it would be, so I had to put on my jacket, but it's actually quite refreshing. Look how insane this looks. Like, it just looks like a big army of rocks. When I first got here, it was all rainy and like dark and stuff, and now it's all, you know, bright and sunny out. So it's weird because the rocks have changed colors and like the shapes have almost changed a little bit. It's hard to explain, but like all these structures on these canyon walls, they like shift according to the light. And I read this thing about it and it explained it better than I am right now, but it's been really cool to see. So now it's starting to rain out, so I gotta get going because with the rain comes cold as well. I also don't want to be super wet because I don't have somewhere to shower tonight. But Bryce Canyon, peace out. Zion, here we come. So when I got to the park today, I came in through the gate like I always do, and the lady tells me, you can drive around a little bit, you can hang out in the park, but there's no parking. And I was like, what do you mean there's no parking? Like, I have to park somewhere to go into the park. Like, what do you mean? And so she explains to me that there was an Ironman, I guess, like an Ironman triathlon. And so everybody from the triathlon is at Zion Park now. So I came into the park, I drove around a little bit, and then I found a spot. There was this couple leaving, and I asked them if they were leaving and I could have their spot, and they were like, yeah. So now I've got a spot, and I'm gonna go explore Zion Park a little bit. Because it's gonna be a hot one today. So you can't actually drive into the park. You have to take the tram, and the parking was all full, like I said, so I found a spot, but apparently the tram doesn't stop there. So now I have to walk back like a mile to the tram stop. All right, this one had the steepest elevation change, and it's supposed to be one of the most difficult. It says strenuous, so I'm excited. I'm pretty sure I'm going right up there. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure. Well, I finally got to the part of the hike that I really wanted to get to, which is Angel's Landing. And apparently, a lot of people have died from this. Oh, actually, it's right here. This used to be 9, but now I guess it's 13. So I'm not saying I want to die or anything, but I do like hikes that are risky, if you will. So I'm pretty excited. There's a big chain connected to the side of the mountain so that way you don't fall off. Now this is my kind of hike. I love this. Just climbing up these rocks, going through the mountains, get this fantastic view. Look at that, I'm looking straight down. Finally made it, and it's really awesome, but it's really windy, so I'm going to keep it short. Zion, 10 out of 10. Definitely do the Angel Landings Trail because look at that view. Imagine you're walking, right? And now the trail just goes straight down. All right, I'm almost done at Zion. I forgot about the walk out, but after this, more canyons on the way.
Every day I wait.
The sun just came up, so I'm up, and we're gonna go get started on this Grand Canyon trail. All right, guys, I'm just getting started on the trail here. It's about 7 a.m. and I wanted to show you how amazing this view is. Like, this is all the Grand Canyon, and it goes on very, very far that way and very, very far on the other side here. It is so cold, but I didn't want to like dress too warm or bring too many clothes because I know it's gonna get hot. And once it gets hot, I'm not gonna wanna carry all those clothes the rest of the day. So I have to kind of suck it up, but it is so chilly going down this canyon right now. Let me read this to you. It says, hiking to the Colorado River and back in one day is not recommended due to long distance, extreme heat, and nearly 5,000 foot elevation change. And that's what I'm doing right now. So we'll see what happens. It says not recommended, but that's my favorite type of hike, is not recommended to do in one day. On the map, it said 2 days. And I was like, nah, we can do that in one day. Just got to wake up early.
Let me back inside. I waited here so many years. Let me back inside.
The river's right there, so we're getting pretty close. All right, I am officially on the bottom of the Grand Canyon now. I made it halfway, basically, on the trail because I got all the way down. But now I gotta go all the way back up, which I'm really not looking forward to. But you gotta do what you gotta do. I came down, I gotta go back up. But it definitely is the grandest canyon. I mean, it is massive. Like these little like layers of rock you can see behind me, that's not even in the top. That's just like the first layer of rock. And then there's like 3 or 4 more that go up. I mean, it is so big here. It really blew me away. And it's even still being at the bottom, I can't believe how big the river is at the bottom. Because at the top, it just looks like nothing. Yeah, going up was way harder. And now it's hot. And it's all uphill. And I'm almost out of water. So hopefully I get to this water filling station soon. I'm exhausted. Yeah, it's way, way harder going up. Going down, once I got to the river, I was like, this is easy. Yeah, no, it was right. I'm not throwing up like this guy. But it was, still is actually. I'm not done. I probably have about 5 miles left. Very strenuous hike. I wouldn't recommend doing it. I would not recommend going down and up the Grand Canyon in one day. But I'm glad I did it because now I'm on my way back. So I don't really have another choice. I gotta go all the way back up. But I wouldn't recommend it for the future. My phone died before I got to the top and the end of the trail, so I couldn't record it, but it felt amazing. It felt so good to be on top of the canyon again. It took forever though. It was a grueling hike. Like, all the signs that said not to do it, I get it. Like, if it was a hard hike, it was a very, very difficult hike, but it was definitely worth it. Like, it was really fun. And I wanted to show you guys like where I actually went. So this morning I started here at that trail and I hiked all the way down the Grand Canyon to the river, and then hiked over here to like Bright Angel area, and then hiked back on this other trail all the way up to the top of the Grand Canyon. And so it ended up being like 20 miles. And I ended up meeting a bunch of really cool people and stuff today, so it was great. But 20 miles up and down, it was like 5,000 feet difference in elevation or something like that. So I'm pretty exhausted. And with that being said, this is going to conclude today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and show me your support on YouTube. Give me that like. Also, if you thought I was going to forget about the odometer, here it is. I've got 11,899 miles on the car so far, and that was really difficult to do because the sun's like in every angle. But if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to Land Shark Lifestyle, because I post a video every week that you guys do not want to miss. I will see you next week. This concludes Canyon Week. Peace out.